Hello. This is just to quickly show you what you can actually do to process supplier overpayment. So here is an example that I have. So this is a purchase invoice. This is for $100. And as an example, I'm trying to process this with overpayment. So for example, I have like 150 being paid to the supplier. So notice here that there is actually an error that the amount due is only 100 for bill supplier over 1. So which means that I cannot use this functionality to process any overpayment. That is, I'm paying $150 for an AP purchase invoice only amounting to $100. All right. So what you can do is that you can create an AP advances. So if you go to accounts payable in here, all advances, and let's click on this on the plus sign for advances. So we can create an AP advance. So just bear with me. It will just show up here. So yep, and just fill out. I think I have that one here. Demo supplier. And with the currency, I want to default it to AUD. All right, so payment method, just make it simple in our demonstration. So I'll just choose record transfer, but at what you can see anyway. So AP Advances is available now even for ABA file, but maybe your vendor will be or supplier will be paid through ABA file, so you can still make use of the ABA functionality. But in our demonstration, let's just make use of record transfer so we can already see the actual payment right away. And assuming that I actually paid through my bank directly. So let me just choose that bank in there. So I have here 28. So as what you can notice in here, actually, uh, I'm processing the AP advances or AP advanced at the entity level because my demo instance has multi-currency turned on. So I can only create it at the entity level. So with the account in here, I'll just leave it at accounts payable. That's the account that I've defined under accounts payable configuration. And with the transaction amount, I'll make it 150 as what we were trying to use earlier through here. And I'll just fill out department there, location as well, and just click on post. All right, so what will happen is that this will create an AP advance, which will indicate that you've already paid your supplier for 150. So notice that this is a different transaction, not the typical transaction that you would actually create, which is an AP payment through the pay AP purchase invoices, because we have that limitation in there. But what you can do is that you can just process an AP advance. So similar behavior when it comes to posting, but it's just a different way of handling it. So this is that AP Advanced that has been created. So let's have a look at the posting detail in here, just to be sure that we have the correct one. So we have the debit to accounts payable, which again, as I mentioned earlier, is the one defined in your accounts payable for advances. And this is the GL account that is being tagged to the check account that being processed for advances in there. Right. Okay. So what will happen now is that now what you can actually do is that um, once you have this pay AP purchase invoice, and let's do the same as well under the entity level. So if you go to pay AP purchase invoice in here, and let me just select the demo supplier, which we overpaid. So that's the demo supplier. So payment method, I'll just make it straightforward as well. Record transfer again in there and 400. So the reason being of accessing or processing through the pay AP purchase invoice is that when you process an AP advance, it's actually being created like as a credit to be applied to any of the invoices that you have for your supplier. So in order for you to apply it, then you have to go through pay AP purchase invoice process as well. All right, let me just filter this out just to get the only the ones that are available. All right, so I have to use a filter in here. It's all because I created my AP purchase invoice at the top level. So I have to make use of filter by in here. So I have the include top level, so which means that I should be able to display or to pay AP purchase invoice created at the top level here at the entity level. So apply filter, and I should be seeing like two of these invoices, right? Let's have a look. Let's wait a bit. And yep, there you go. So we have this two AP invoices, but in our demo, I will just be making use of this one here, right? So notice in here, there's a credit available is 150. So that's the AP advances that we created earlier, which is like your overpayment. So we can apply that to that invoice, right? So 50 in here, 150 rather, and I can just click on apply credits because I will just apply everything or a portion of it, I would say, right? So apply credit in there. So notice that the credit available now becomes 100 because 100 is being applied to that AP purchase invoice of 100. And I'll just click pay now. All right. And just save it without entering more information. So the whole purpose of this process is just to apply the credit that is being generated by the AP advance, which is for 150, and apply it against that invoice that I was trying to settle, which is only for 100. So you will notice in here that the credit available is already 50, but let's go back to that invoice and see what will happen to the um, amount in here, like amount paid and amount due. And let's just quickly refresh this screen for us to see. So yep, notice in here that the amount paid is 100 because that's what we paid everything, right? Meaning 100 out of 150, and amount due in this case is already 0 because it has been fully paid. So this one here, but then again, that 50, which is a result of the overpayment, is also being made available for future, application. Just in this case, we have another, AP purchase invoice. So you have the option to apply it as well, or maybe do something else for the $50. And what else can we show there? Um, just quickly have a look at the AP ledger, or maybe supplier aging instead, and just to see what's going on in there. So we have 220, right? Open invoice in it. So let me just filter it further to the specific supplier. And yep, location, just in case, I'll just put it for 400 and click on view. And just for us to see what's the balance for under supplier aging report. So we have in here 220, which is the outstanding invoice, and we have the 50 as a negative in here, which is the difference between the 150 paid and the 100 settled. So we have an overpayment of $50 in there. So net this off, so 170. So that's the supplier aging report as of today. And let's just run the AP ledger as well, just to see the effect on the subsidiary ledgers. And later on, let's just have a look as well at the GL. So demo supplier, I have it here as of today as well. And let's have a look. So we have 170 earlier with a supplier aging. And let's see what will show up in AP Ledger. So we have 170 in here as well. So which is perfect. So supplier aging, AP Ledger, they're the same. So let's have a look at the financial reports. So I have here, let's just customize the um, a balance sheet summary in here, or I can run it at the top level. It will be easier. It will just be the same anyways. So we have reports, financial reports. And if I go to maybe just balance sheet summary, and I'll just filter it down further to that specific supplier and location. Just bear with me. Just taking some time. There you go. So filter in here. That allows me to do something about this report. I just close this one. It's running a bit long. So reports, financial reports. Then if I edit the balance sheet summary report, all right. And if I go to filter section, all right. So as of today, but location, specific location, which is 400, and supplier, I want specific supplier. We want, which one is it? We have demo. Find. Okay, I'll go for this one. And we should be able to select demo supplier. So demo supplier as of today, let's have a look at what the balance sheet will look like. So I just would like to see specifically the impact on accounts payable in comparison to the AP aging or supplier aging and the AP ledger that we have there. So we have here accounts payable 170, which is great. So this figure matches the amount in both AP ledger and subsidiary ledger, which is 220 existing purchase invoice minus 50, which is your overpayment. And good thing as well is the cash and cash equivalents for that particular supplier. We have 150, which is the actual payment with overpayment, right? Which is 150. So it's coming up in here as a negative. That's great. So you have the AP ledger, the supplier aging, balance sheet, they all match up, right? So let's look as well. I'd like to see the effect on bank reconciliation. So I like to reconcile and see what will show up. So that's the bank account that we used to process the overpayment as an AP advance. And beginning cut-off date, I'll just advance it to 2023. So January, so I want it from 27 until today's date, 28th in there. I'll just ignore that one. And let's see what the intersection will show up. Okay, so just all apply filter. Yeah, it's already there anyways. So yep, so this is the one that we processed earlier. So 150 under checks or debits, AP advance. So it's coming up in here. So 150 is available for your reconciliation as a deduction to your bank account, which would include an overpayment of $50. All right. So hope this demonstration and this solution help. Thank you.